Hello, everyone. This is Jessica Langerman talking, here to just try to give a very basic introduction to Slack. So here we go. Right now you're looking at my desktop, and down here on the dock, as I think it's called, you'll see that I have a Slack icon. This is the result of my having actually downloaded the app, which is something that you will need to do down the line. How did I download that app? I cannot exactly remember the steps. So assuming that you don't have it here, what you would do to get started on Slack is go to your web browser, whatever it is. You might have Safari. I happen to have Google Chrome. So I'm going to click on Google Chrome and maximize that. And now start a new tab. And I'm going to type in the website for Slack, slack.com. Okay, so here is what you should see when you first go to sign in. And you should have received an invitation. And if so, you're going to go right here to where it says sign in. Click on that. Okay, so for this little tutorial, I'm going to use our CXC-Massachusetts shared worksite. So after, all I do is type that in and then hit continue. We couldn't find your workspace. If you can't remember your workspace's address, okay, let's try that again. Maybe it is case sensitive. Continue. Okay, who? I guess it's case sensitive. Okay, here we go. All right, so here is the typical Slack screen. And what you're going to see on the left-hand side are kind of two general categories. The first says all threads, and the second says direct messages. Okay, so up here under all threads are the channels that the person who set up the Slack workspace will have created. So under our CXC Massachusetts workspace, which is up here, we have a number of channels. We've got a channel for posting what I'm going to call email, but probably what on Slack are called topics or messages. Anyway, if you have an interesting article or something in the news you'd like to share with the group, you would go to this channel. And right now you can see that there is some information here that I posted, and people have responded to it. Okay, so that would be an example of that. Here is a channel all about board calls. Then we have a channel about board meetings. We have a channel for each of our committees, the executive committee, the finance committee, the nominating and governance committee, channels about our merger with CABA, fundraising, flim-flam, etc. Okay, so for our training purposes, I created this channel right here, and I'm going to click on it. Okay, so let's say I'm going to post a topic about training. So I'll say, hi all, don't forget training tonight at 10 p.m. Okay, this is a test, by the way, not the real deal. Okay, so now to post that, I just hit enter on my keyboard. Okay, and voila. Now, if you aren't me and you're sitting at your computer looking at Slack, this channel, training, will suddenly be bolded, telling you that somebody has posted something there. And if you're interested, you can go have a look and you can respond. So there are bunches of ways you can respond. You can respond by doing like, an emoji, if you like. You can respond by starting a thread. Okay, so the thread might be, oh no, I'm too tired, please. No. Okay, posting that. All right, so the next person reading this will see the main post, and then they'll see that a thread was started about this. And the thread is visible normally when you click right there. You'll see it on the right-hand side of the screen. So many other people might have responded, and that thread will be right here to look at. Another way of responding is to say, wait, let's see, I'm going to pretend I'm somebody else. Wait, I have training at 10 p.m. tonight. There's been a mistake. Return or enter. Okay, so now whoever is looking at this channel can see what's going on by looking here and kind of seeing the main messages, and then noting if there are any threads going off about a particular message. And again, those threads would show up over here. Okay, now let's say you decide, oh, you shouldn't have posted something. So you go back here and delete that message. Okay, delete. Now I'm going to delete this one too, and delete. Okay, good. So again, these little icons here are to add a reaction. You can also share the message with somebody else on Slack. And let's see what else. You can star the message, I think kind of like with email, and copy the link, mark as unread, delete. Okay, those are our options there. Okay, so now the next section here is called direct messages. So let's say you want to send somebody a private message. You really don't want everybody reading this. So you can send a private message to that person. And if you see their name over here, you can just click on it and go ahead and type your message here. If it's not over there, you can click here, and then you would search for that person. So I'm going to search for a guy named Phil. Oop, no one named Phil. How about Zori? Okay, there's Zori. So I'm just going to click on that, hit go, and now I can send a private message to Zori. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to send that. I'm going to just delete it. Delete. Okay, so we've got private messages there. There's also something you'll see here called the Slack bot, and this is really sort of funny. So if you make a mistake or you mistype something like an address, and by the way, an address looks like this. You use the @ symbol and then the name of the person whom you are direct messaging. I can't remember if I said that. So let's say you decide to direct message someone who isn't on here. Well, the Slack bot will come up and say, oh, that person is not, on this channel. Do you want to invite them? And you would just click invite this person, which would be an option that you would see. And then that person will be invited to the channel and will see your message. I guess I should say they'll be invited to the direct message to be able to see the direct message that you've sent. Okay, so another thing you can do is if I look up here at this down arrow right by our workspace, you'll see a bunch of different options, including invite people, which you can do. If you wanted to invite someone to this workspace, you would enter their email address. And another thing that you can do is to switch to any other workspace to which you might belong. So you might already be using Slack at work or what have you, and this is one way that you can switch to a different workspace. Okay, here it says open the Slack app, and I think if you don't already have the Slack app, it might say get the Slack app or something like that. So I think that might be how you would download the Slack app for your computer or your tablet or phone. I'm told that the functionality of Slack is a lot better if you have that app, so I really would suggest that you do that. Okay, I have not troubled myself to really look through any of these, but obviously I think that would serve you well if you wanted to do it. And you'll also notice here that I have synced up the Google Drive for our organization with Slack, and that is what is being shown down here. So now going back here to training, let's say this is not going to be a private direct message, but I am going to post something openly under the training channel that I really want my friend Bonnie to see. So I typed @ and I began to type Bonnie's name. Up it comes. So I'm just going to hit enter. Here's a good example of this. You mentioned Bonnie Widows, but they're not on this channel. Would you like to invite them to join, or have Slackbot send them a link to your message, or do nothing? So normally I would hit here, invite them to join. This time I'm just going to do nothing. Okay, so back to my message here. I guess I will delete this one. So what I would do then is I would, if I can do myself, yeah, okay. I'm going to send a message to myself. And again, this would be an open message to anyone who is looking at this channel. But let's say I want to post something from our Google Drive. So I would say, take a look at this. Okay, now what I would do is go up here and go to our Google Drive. So I've got a bookmark up here. Let's see, I'll just go over here. And here is my drive. Let's see, let's find something. Marketing materials. Okay, so here's a tabling handout. Okay, what I'm going to do is, there are a couple different things I can do here. I can click on this link, so anyone with the link can see this document and edit it. Okay, and notice down here it says the link has been copied to the clipboard. Okay, so now I'm going back to Slack. I'm right here, and what I'm going to do is just paste in that link. Okay, so I'm going to hit return. And again, now if I were not myself, I would see that this channel has been bolded, and I would think to myself, oh, I'm interested in training. I'm going to go see what's going on here. And here is the file that I just posted. So that's pretty cool. So you can just open that up, and it takes you to the Google Drive and to that document. Okay, so that's good. You can also put in dates. So for example, up here we have a board meeting channel. And if I click on that, you're going to see a bunch of events mentioned, including the contact information. So that's kind of helpful to know. So you can add calendar events here. Okay, so that is more or less the extent of my knowledge of Slack. But I think that you may find this to be just an unbelievably helpful way of managing all work-related email. It prevents your inbox from filling up with 10,000 reply all emails. It enables you to kind of decide, well, what is important for me to look at today? Is it important for me to look at this committee's work? That committee, what time was that board call? Sometimes I just save articles and news for when I'm taking a break. It's so different and so much more helpful for me than the constant flow of unsorted email that is my typical inbox. So anyway, I hope that you guys are as thrilled with this program as I have been. And to sign out, I don't normally sign out. I normally just minimize this window. So I might do that, maybe put it down there. And again, once you get the app, you can kind of call it right back up this way. Okay, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this is a little bit helpful, and see you around.